You know, I hear the comments of so many of you that's saying that Akon told the truth and black Americans can't handle the truth. I agree with Akon to a certain extent. I agree with him because the music, or what they call music today, is trash. I don't agree with the rap music today. I don't agree with the young people having their pants sagging. I don't agree with a lot of what they call performance today. But you have to realize we're only talking about one generation of young people. In spite of everything for over 400 years, black Americans were able to create out of their pain, out of their suffering. That's why they refer to the music as soul music. Because when black people made music, regardless of what genre it was, they put their heart, they put their feelings into it. They put their suffering into it. That's how rap music came into play. Because what was happening in the black community, the suffering that and the injustice that so many young black Americans were dealing with, they took it and put it in music. But then as time went on, and as they left God, they turned their backs on the Creator, notice the music started changing to the point where they're not even now using real instruments. The only time you're going to hear real instruments is if you're listening to old school R&B, if you're listening to jazz, or even if you're listening to country and western, that yes, black people are also a part of that genre of music. But what they call music today is trash, it's garbage. I agree with that, but again, you're talking about one generation, okay? And if black people or so-called black people were to get themselves together, if they start recreating, they're going to always dominate. Black people are going to always dominate the theater. They're going to dominate the music. They're going to dominate sports. Even with sports, I remember when sports started changing. Because there was a time where in the boxing rings, blacks dominated. They still dominate. But it was rare that you saw a black man get beat in a boxing ring. Very rare. But this generation is a lot different than the generation that I came up in. And now young people are listening to death music. And the sad thing about that is, it's easy for y'all to criticize and put down what they now call music, but you keep that alive by playing it in your cars, you're buying that music, and you're going to their concerts. And for Akon to come up and make fun and criticize the so-called young black youth, Akon himself capitalized off of that because according to his own testimony, which some people are saying that's a lie, was he stole cars and he hustled drugs. Not only that, he also performed on stage with his pants sagging. So now he wants to judge the young black youth talking about how high they are on stage when he sold them the drugs. Out of his own mouth, he said that he was a drug dealer. He was a hustler. So out of his own mouth, he sold drugs to the same people now that he's criticizing, saying that they're on the stage all high with their pants sagging and the performance is lousy. Well, you created that, and it was an era that you also took part in. So for him to criticize young black Americans, and again, this is only one generation. That one generation, the failure of this generation does not wipe out the talent, the natural talents and gifts that the so-called black Americans have. And I want to end with this. The more I think about it, the more I believe that the reason why Akon now is trying to discourage Africans from coming to America by saying that America is not what it's portrayed to be, and by putting down the so-called Black Americans, is because Africans are leaving the continent. They're running, they're fleeing. I just got done watching a video where they're being mass deported from India. They were mass deported from the UK. They were mass deported from other nations. Nigerians, they don't want them in their nations because of the criminals. Now, of course, some of y'all are going to say, well, everybody has criminals, right? And the Indians, they're making money, and they're criminals, they commit crimes too. But India was smart, because India was like, you know what? We having too many of these Nigerian scammers coming over here. We're going to nip that in the bud with the quickness and get rid of all of them. And guess what? The African leaders won't do anything about that. The African leaders would not start mass deporting the Indians and even the white man that a lot of y'all talk about. And for y'all to praise South Africa and talk about how good South Africa's doing, well, South Africa's doing well because the white man made it that way. And that's why South Africa is flourishing like it is, because the white man is in control of that. No Africans, right? But I think that Akon is doing that because of the fact that he's trying to bring Africans back to the continent, because they're all fleeing. They're fleeing to different nations. So now he feels now, okay, I got to attack Black Americans because Africans are trying to be like Black Americans. They're dressing like Black Americans. They're biting their style and all of this. So I got to try to find a way to discourage them, to make them think that Black Americans aren't that great, that you're greater than the so-called Black Americans, and that you don't need to go to America because you're now going to have to work hard. Although he became rich in Black America, Black Americans were the ones that put him on. He made his money in America, and now he's trashing the so-called Black Americans. He's biting the same hand that fed him, that got him to where he is today. So now he's got to put down Black Americans. He's got to put down America while he's still promoting in America. He's still promoting, still wanting the business of Americans, but yet he's putting America down, talking about how great the Africans are. But see, he's only doing that to discourage them from coming here and from them trying to be like Black Americans, because they're fleeing Africa. So he has to try to destroy the image of the so-called Black Americans. Although he made his money here and he got his start with the Black Americans. They put him on, so now he's got to try to destroy the image and the credibility of the so-called Black Americans, because maybe somewhere within himself he does not want other Africans to come here and succeed like he did. See, so he's got to try to stop that. So now he's getting on platforms that is able to carry his message to different parts of the globe. He's sending messages to the Africans saying like, hey, it ain't all that. You know, when you see these Bugattis and these nice cars, and you know, in the rap videos, as soon as the camera's off, now they ain't got that. They call it an Uber. This is what he says, right? But he got his wealth from here. So now he's trying to discourage other Africans from coming here and getting their wealth. That's his whole motive, and you guys are defending him and protecting him. You know, you got people actually on here, so-called Black Americans, attacking people like me because I'm speaking out against people like Akon. But that's what I think. I think he's just trying to discourage Africans from coming here because they're fleeing the continent and they all want to be in America. You know, they all like are looking up to Americans, as they say. And he's trying to discourage that because he don't want them to get what he's got. He's being selfish. He doesn't want other Africans to succeed in America in the so-called black community like he did. So he's an op trying to destroy the connections between the so-called Africans and the so-called black Americans. What do you guys think about that? Feedback and tell me what you think. Until next time. I'm fearless.